Hey there, folks. Morning. It's 4 o'clock, Tuesday, October 18th, 2016. It's about to say 2018. Late 2018 is when things will be greatly settled down with this issue with the Drak on the planet. With the Drak, with the Drak taking care of the issues on the planet, Drak, Antids, and others. I'm kind of waking up. It's kind of a, don't use this word too much, surreal moment. Feels very real, relaxed, serious, self-contemplative. That meeting last night, there's still people there talking about things. There will be for another day or two, couple days. Some of them are going to be there for a week. They're putting things together for this new alliance. I talk about excuse me. I love you, Herky, good man. You're my little buddy. It's my big hero too, all in one. He's literally my best friend. I talk a lot about the dual spirit core, the energy within your body being two different energies within your body that are actually spirit, sentient energy. You okay, Herc, buddy? You want to lay over here with Daddy? Good boy. Come on, honey. Good boy, honey. Good boy. Get in that nice Sealy Posturepedic bed. That's right. No, it's not. It's a Serta. It's not Sealy. It's a Serta. Good boy, Herky. It's hard sometimes the way my mind flows, the way my thought process flows, how I screw some simple things up. I realize sometimes it causes issues with what I say, but hey, I'm doing the best I can. I so often talk about the dual core spirit within my body, within your body, within animals, plants. The dual spirit core. That's what I'm trying to say. That other part of me, not the Arae's primary focal point, but the initial focal point, but the spirit that used to belong to Gaia is female, more female than male. Mine does have some male in it. So like I said, when the orbs of energy are broken, they separate, they vibrate, pull loose, and as they do, they break off in different sections of different ratios, proportions of male and female. It's two pieces that break in. It's one piece that breaks into two, so you have a basic male and female, but one's predominantly male and the other one predominantly female. But there's the amount of actual male and female in each one is different. Just like the different frequencies that are in that globule orb, whatever you want to say, of energy, of spirit, sentient energy. my own energy that's in me from the planet right now is feeling understands now more about what that part of what she is. She understands more now that she's met some others from other planets. She's met how those spirits act while they're in their bodies, and it's helped her mature and understand things better. That energy is that part of me, her. She's literally caught up my throat. And folks, guys, I don't care how macho, you want to play and how strong you are as a male. That part of the core energy that's in the dual spirit core, that other part that came from the planet. Planet's a female essence, man. There's something in there. It's not, it's not that big a deal. You understand? You see something, you understand it. Excuse me. It's not a bad thing or anything else. The way things are on this planet, everything's made to be more reptilian, aggressive. You must conquer. Remember, folks, this planet is young. The Earth is, as far as planets go in their lifetimes, the Earth is almost like a baby. It's not a baby, but I mean, it's just very, very young. Gaia is planetary essence. She's been around since the beginning. But it's just now she's in this planet. She's very strong. She's very wise. That's one reason I talk a lot about that part of the body. Well, that part of you. It's like the dominant thing, what I am, is Arae's primary focal point. I don't like talking about it that much because of what it is. And I don't want people thinking that I'm trying to make something about myself. I want to draw people's attention to my words, not to me. That's why I look like this. That's why I don't care what I look like, because it doesn't matter. What matters is the information I have to offer you so that you can finally start becoming yourself. Folks, these other beings from other planets in this alliance, they've been around a long time. Every one of them had a scanner where their station was to sit or stand, where whatever they like. Most of the reptilians stand. With that scanner, they can actually see the energy. Arae's primary focal point was there, large, big time. So was a lot of the others. Berjou, Paul, Stephen Lewandowski. He doesn't know yet. I'll talk to him later on. He was there, but it's a part of him that's flowing outside of the body. People's source is huge. I've told you that as souls, the stronger ones of you, while you're crammed into a body, that your energy's touching both. If we put you in the middle of the U.S., your energy's touching both oceans, Atlantic and Pacific. Well, the oldest essence, human essence, is incredibly strong. It was made bigger. It was the ones that were first starting to have lives after Lily and Arae, and then animals got it going for about the first 300 million lives. Live sections. It's a loose term, but it's a good ratio. Good number. The energy that's Arae, what's in me. It's just way out in space. Let's just say that while it's crammed in the body. Its huge source is incredibly powerful. The strong source, when it's in a body, it's literally wrapped around this planet and more, just flowing. The family members, Lily and Arae, are they're stronger. That does not mean bigger. That does not mean better. It's better fitted to do different things, but it's not better. There's a big difference. A mouse is no better than an elephant. An elephant is no better than a mouse. It's equality. They're both individual beings with their own rights. All these scanners that they have, they read energy. They can read spirit. When someone in the delegation was talking, they not only saw that being in front of them and the planet they came from, they could see the energy, the spirit within them that's from the planet that that their body comes from, but also the other part of them in past lives that they've had. It's all right there. I told them, there was a lot of family members that were there. I didn't mention just a few of them. There's my head is settling down to something new. Like I was saying, the part of me that the spirit within me that literally came from Gaia. She's literally just kind of still in awe about what happened. She's been fighting the hell out of me on so many things, and she didn't understand what the hell was going on. How could she? She's here on the planet. And they've been tortured, folks. And let me tell you something. The Earth is new, okay, in relativity of the age of the others. But it's seen the more frantic, aggressive abuse from the original first being male and female than the other planets did. That's one reason I told you that, like the Drakh and the Antids and some of the other old races, that's why they're so strong, so powerful. They come from a different time. They have their own history. They've maintained it. And their DNA is strong. Their DNA is from the first lives that we ever had for Lily and Arae. The meeting was on the Drakh ship, a part of that huge mothership that came here that literally was the size of Venus. That's how big that ship was. Or is. Yeah, I say was because it's broken off into smaller pieces, but it goes right back together again. It was this. This meeting was held on the Drakh ship. It was out around Jupiter, Saturn area. It was it was inside the dimensional barrier. A way to relate to it for most people would be what we would think of as subspace from Star Trek series, but it was within the subdimensional. It was subdimensional. It was within the actual dimensional barrier, and that's why I try hard to use the simplest, most accurate words. It's not because I'm talking to dummies. It's because that's the way I am. You know, you can call me the dummy. I don't care. I know who I am. You know. People say stuff sometimes. It almost never happens. But when they do, they look at me. For the most part, I just look at them and say, "Huh? How about that?" Look at a person. I said, "Man, they're just totally unawake, unaware." I said, "Whatever." But because the information I have to give you, I will not allow that to be put down. When someone does start getting smart and then spreading it, then I'll have a few words, and then I leave that there, and the rest is taken care of. Folks, there's a big part of me and the rest of my family that's still at that meeting. I'll stay there till it's over. Our conscious minds went there. I told everyone it was going to be 8 o'clock when it started. I talked for about 5 minutes, and then I stopped. I had something that had to be said, but it was Arae. But then again, it wasn't, because I was inside of both parts of me. That part of my spirit, the part of my dual spirit core originally came from the spirit of Gaia. She was there too. We were there together and actually talked about a very basic thing, and it lasted, like I said, 5-7 minutes. And then when I was done, I was done. I was talking, I was there, but it was the real me talking. And the words were flowing out of me. I mean, I didn't say them out loud, but they were flowing out of me. Just, it's the bigger part of me. Folks, the same thing goes on with you. You're not these bodies. These bodies are, vehicles for your energy to be hooked up with another energy to go have a life in. It's been way too difficult, way too abusive, and all that's stopping. There's a lot of excitement in that meeting, or there was. There's hope, a ton of hope. Susanna was over there, and she had this beautiful, soft, relaxed blue going through there, kind of like the color of angelite with a little more blue in it. Angelite looks a little bit grayish, but excuse me, had a little more blue in it. And I talked with her right before right before I needed to go, and she could see it. She was seeing a different being, what they looked like, and that was, I don't know. I'm just proud of all of them. I'm anxious to leave. I want to go, and I'm going to. I have to, but I feel comfortable in the fact that there's so many already stepping up on their own, and then everyone's going to have help with this very soon. You want to wake up, you're going to get all the help you need. Instead of being made timid and not being able to trust what you see, you're going to have help with that. You're going to have help understanding that what you're seeing is real. You're going to see it for yourself. The structure of the place, if you look at this, when I make my coffee, I put my coffee filter in, and then I put this in to kind of make sure the shape stays good. But the shape that this thing is in, kind of cone-like, that's what this huge room was, except this bottom piece was smaller. But that's the shape of the room. And everything was set up with its own scanner. And they put together their little bylaws of their group, talking about what had to be done here on the earth and what the penalties were going to be for those who had abused the earth. How planets will be treated, how beings will be treated. There'll be others there coming in and out for 2 weeks. So they get things settled. They'll have a base of operations and stuff soon. There's going to be the Draco or Dracos. Some people say, I call them the Draco because Draco, that's too much like Drac. That's the name they want for themselves. Screw them. Anything aggressive, abusive, trying to be about itself can go get screwed. It's going to have a lot of help here real soon. This is why I've been saying what I have been. This is why I'm trying to give you the information you need to understand who you really are. Just be you. I think I've said that a few years now. But I want you to open up and awaken to who you are. It's the important last thing I do for you while I'm here. Or to offer for you to do for yourself, to yourself, whatever. It's for yourself. Why not know who you really are? Come on, man. It's silly to be anything else. If you don't want to know who you really are, then what are you playing some game where you're after trying to turn yourself into something you're not? And if you are, if you can catch yourself trying to be somebody you're not, do yourself a favor, do everyone else that you care about a favor, just stop and relax for a moment and look at why you're doing that. Why do I feel the need to do that? Why do I feel, what's the feeling I have that pushes me in that direction? Is it because I feel I need the attention because I didn't get it at home growing up? Is it because I'm angry? Most all our problems come from our base chakra, emotional, and it's almost always based on some kind of fear. That's why when the original first being, or the original first angels, back when they were servants, that was their job, to attack that part of you, and it's the easiest way for them to control the body. And don't be getting mad at that part of Gaian Spirit that's inside your body either. If you're a real strong, aggressive male with a lot of testosterone, cool. I mean, I used to work out all the time. I was strong as hell. I was built like a brick house. But what I was inside still had that female part too. It's just there. It's spirit. Then the larger part of you is what you are inside. There's a lot of realizations that are now open, offered to you to help you understand yourself, and some of them are harder to understand than others. I first wanted to talk with you all about who you really are inside, your abilities and everything, that you're incredible sentient beings. Well, yeah, hey folks, to the best of my ability, I've never lied to you. I screw up with words sometimes. It's like saying it's a Serta bed, but first thing I called it is something or other. Sealy. A Sealy, I think I said. I screw up like that. It's like I tell people, some people are so worried about screwing up. I said, crap, just watch me 5 minutes. I used to tell that to my mechanics. Whenever I'd have one or two working with me, I was always very small. I said, I don't have comebacks. And I said, well, that's good. But, somebody, a mechanic wanted a job or someone come up and say, I don't get comebacks. And I said, okay, well, we all screw up. That's okay. And sometimes cars do come back because the world of automotive repair is hell. It's a bitch. Or a bastard, whatever you want to say. It's rough. Cars are made of a whole lot of parts, and parts break down. I've had cars fall apart on me while I was working on them. I could be working on the AC unit, and then all of a sudden the axle freezes up. It's like, what do you do to my car? I said, nothing. I said, sorry, I picked a bad time to do it, but I said, oh, by the way, and they get real mad. And I'm like, look, I didn't, this car is 30 years, 20 years old, and it's got rust all over the place. I said, not only did I not touch that part of your car in any way, shape, or form, but I didn't design the vehicle, I didn't build the vehicle, and I didn't drive the vehicle for that 300,000+ miles. Okay, so get out of my face, please. I'm going to help you with this because I care, but don't give me crap. I don't take crap. Not from you, not from a judge, not from nobody. I pour my heart out everywhere, but I don't take crap. That's kind of back to the hammer with the heart. Anyway, in talking about myself a little bit, I hope you can find a way to put yourself in that situation and feel yourself. You're all strong, man. I mean, your energy's flowing everywhere. But it's really important that you understand who you are. You have incredible power. You're free-form spirit. Okay? And now you all are literally becoming free. But right now you're in a body, and you're sharing that body with part of the spirit from the planet. All planets have female universal essence. All stars have male universal essence. That's just the way it is. And male and female are very close anyway. So, and for anyone wondering, no, I'm not bisexual. I'm totally heterosexual. And if you are bisexual, that's fine. I'm just telling you who's giving you this information. I've had lives where I was female. Or as bisexual, whatever. Trisexual, who knows? I mean, that's a joke, okay? But bad one. I'm just trying to make light of a situation to where you understand that that's really not that important. That spirit that Gaia released so that everybody could, so not so everyone could have lives, so that the original first being male and female could put in your body while you have lives. That stuff was tortured too, folks. It needs a planet to live in. Not a human body that knows is going to die and is so frantic to hold on to it. Excuse me, so that when the body is dying, it's freaking out. Why do you think many people freak out because they're dying? Oh, I can't die. I gotta live. Why? You come out of the body, you're free. So what the hell's the thing about dying? I could see more about, when those you love die, but for yourself. So, I'm not belittling anyone or anything. I'm trying to explain how things are. The poor planetary spirit that's within you, the smaller part, the smaller percentage of your Kundalini, what they call Kundalini, the dual spirit core. Those poor people, because they're tortured. That's torture. Their planetary essence, they need physical mass to hold on to. And then they're given a body, and then the body's taken away from them, and it goes on and on and on and on and on. They're fighting. It's normal for them to grab the body and want to control it. It's your conscious mind. It's your conscious being. That's the half of you. Folks, this is real stuff. It's you. You're real. Right, Herc? I'm so happy that the vast part of the spirit in my body that came from the planet understands. Folks, all of us make mistakes. If you're not making what we call a mistake, then you're not learning. I call it a learning advancement point. Now, if you pass the same learning advancement point 3 times, it's time to park the car, turn it off, and quit going in circles. See what the hell's going on. Get out a road map, take a look. All right, why am I doing this? And 99 point something out of 100 times, you're going to find out that you have an issue between the two parts of your spirit. That's why I put out that video about psychologists and psychiatrists a long time ago. They'll never really be able to do their job properly until they understand the two different spirits within a body, because they're not dealing with one mind with one, not with one person. They're dealing with one brain, but that brain has two different people inside, two spirits. I told you in some very big lives that I had here that I would come back and tell you what's going on out in creation. I'm fulfilling that promise. I wish I could fulfill all of them, especially in the time I originally allot for them. I'm trying so hard to get this other physical stuff done. Herky's going, he can't get upstairs. I need to get the bed set up downstairs. I got to get stuff out of the way. I do have degenerative joint disease. I have 2 different types of lung disease. Number 3 and 4 cause of death on this planet. Yeah, I got some issues. I'm not crying. You don't see any tears in my eyes. It's just, it kind of, as a matter of fact, you can feel my anger. It's starting to piss me off thinking about it. But at least now I can work better as one complete individual that has two individual beings within it. Okay? That spirit or person that originally came from Gaia, and then that spirit or person that is the majority of what I am inside, which is what I call Jara, but it's Ara's primary focal point. The other, something I'd like for you to remember too, excuse me, as you raise your children and they have children, please help them understand and remember that we're a young race, that a lot of these other races have been around a lot longer. Folks, they have a lot higher technology level. They're at a higher level of technology than we are. They understand the true thought process of physics, which is, a little different one planet than another due to a gravitational pull and stuff like that. Dimensions. There's all kinds of new knowledge that's coming out. Folks, some of the stuff I've told you about dimensions and how they're created, nobody knew that. That's no whoopee, Jay. I'm a janitor. Leave me the hell alone. Just listen. Or don't. I don't give a damn. You can take a hammer on the ground and beat it with another hammer. It's just going to bounce right off. But what I'm trying to say is don't waste your time on me. If you really want to get somewhere, those people blabbing at me, folks, they're always, the few that there are, they'll always do it. That's them. Look at them. This is good exercise for you. When you see one, look at them, look into them, see and feel what's going on and why. As you do that, you're going into them, you're using your abilities, and you'll see stuff, problems that they have. That's what the new psychologists and psychiatrists are going to start doing, like they do in other planets. Folks, there's a new age that's here. It's starting, it's forming. There's freedom that's coming out now. It's being forced here in the third dimension, but in the second dimension, it's all but done. It's all but finished. That's the beauty of where you are right now. Don't give a damn about who's swinging a mop. Give a damn about you're finally free and do something with it. The first thing you should do, in my opinion, is be you. Become yourself, understand yourself. I'm not telling you anybody that you have to think or do anything. But if you relax and float inside yourself, you're going to find yourself. And folks, there's things I can't do for you. You have to do yourself. It's like I said, I can build you a Ferrari, but if you don't put the key in the ignition, don't start bitching at me when you're sitting there on the couch eating your beer and potato chips or soda or whatever. Saying, damn it, my Ferrari won't run. I said, well, did you use it? Did you try driving it? Did you try using it? Oh, it's supposed to happen automatically. And a lot of us, most of us, have been made to feel so inferior and so deficient that there's no way possible we could ever be that because we suck. That's a programming thing that's been put on us. We get it from schools growing up, people in a grocery store, teachers, parents. It comes from different places. There's some that support us, and there's always been more that don't. My life is, I went through a lot of hell because the original first being male and female was trying to groom me in this life to be, to fall in place behind them. Instead, I killed them. He keeps saying that. No, I don't say it a lot, but it's true, and I'm proud of it. My body generated the energy, and it had to come out of my body, and it did. When I cranked up energy like that when I was first doing this, it hurt so bad that I after the two big fights, I had 2.5 weeks where I couldn't flex my brain to do anything. It hurt so bad. I damaged it. And one time I got real upset and I wanted to get the hell out of this body, and I started ripping my brain apart just with energy in the inside. And Fran was with me, Fran Smith. She's really cool. And she screamed, "Wow, you know what you're doing?" She goes, "You're literally ripping your brain apart." I didn't tell her what I was doing. Fran's incredible. She's strong, but she's sensitive too. She can see energies through you. You want to talk about a healer? She can't close an open wound, but she can help you with everything else. Folks, the energy involved in closing a wound, you're not going to find that until your DNA and everything else is evolved. And then your energy is strong enough. And so it used to be the angels that were doing that, your personal angels, and then to make you think you could do it. And then when you went to do it again, you couldn't do it. Then all of a sudden you look like an idiot. And then what do? You start doubting yourself, and then what do? Where does that always lead? Oh, praise Mother, Father God, help me please. Oh, you know. It was a trap. When you know who you are, when you know yourself, things start to settle down. But that spirit within you that belongs to that originally came from Gaia, it belongs to itself. But when it originally belonged to Gaia, she released it from herself. When you can meet it and find harmony within, then that body that you're in is going to move, do great things. But first we have to know ourselves. Folks, some of this stuff I'm finding out now. I mean, we're in bodies. What do you think it'd be like for a fish in a fish tank that was full of tar where it could barely move through? You think it can function right? Hell no. You think it can see through the damn thing? No. These physical bodies are going. They're leaving. They're going to be energetic bodies. And a lot of people freak out when I say that. It's just not a high percentage, but there's a few of them just like, and inside, not many people say it, but a lot of them feel it inside. It's like, oh no, what? I won't be able to touch my children or everything. Yes, you will. They're going to be energy too. Everyone's going to be that. If you were born, how can I say this? If you went to sleep and woke up one morning and you were on another planet, and there was all these different beings and nobody understood you, and their energy, you try to touch them, it goes through, and they look at you and float by, or they don't recognize you or see you or ignore you because they can't see you or don't care. That's the kind of feeling that you think you're going to experience. No. It's just the same thing as now. What if everybody had orange skin and two noses? Well, if you did too, you'd be normal. People, try not to get too attached to these bodies, understand them, but don't get attached to them because they don't belong to you. They don't belong to us. Excuse me, Herky. Some people want to pull a race card. It's like, I'm white, I'm blue, I'm orange, I'm black, I'm purple. Oh, for Pete's sake, man, it's a car. I'm Chevy, I'm Ford, I'm an Oldsmobile, I'm engined, whatever. It's a vehicle. So in the meeting, it was the first initial out in the open get together of a lot of people. Was it held in secret? I say out in the open. It was out in the open. There's a lot of people there, getting together. It wasn't behind closed doors. It was in a huge room. Was it being inside, being literally hidden within the dimensional barrier, thanks to the Drak, that protects it, that protected it, that protects the people there. Change is coming, and they were deciding the rules and regs about the things that are on the planet, about how other folks are going to come in. The Serpoians are more than ready. The Allurians can't wait to help us, and both of them are going to help us in many ways, but especially with bringing fertility, the proper fertility, back to this planet, back to Gaia's body. And there are plants to grow that have all the necessary compounds to put together foods through replicators that actually taste good and give your body all the nutrition it needs. And there's no fat content. Wow. Dude, totally, okay? How do you think these folks fly around in space for long journeys? How do you think they eat? So anyway, they got back to the meeting. They set up the basic laws and bylaws for the organization. They finished putting that together. They already had most of that, thought out, but they had to pull everyone together instead of a bunch of little meetings. This for the first time they all came together to have a solid meeting. And how they're going to act together, they had to put out in writing, so to speak, what everyone's rights are, that everyone's free and everyone's equal, and all life is to be respected. So that's a big change over what there's been everywhere, especially with your federation, that everyone's been saying so much, wonderful stuff about. This so-and-so or this so-and-so is coming, and this so-and-so says this. He talks through someone else, and that other person's racking in the bucks, the admiration, and it's all make-believe. This federation was literally, I called it like timeshares, permits, where you have a certain amount of time to come here and a certain limit of how many you can take, but taking people, DNA, butchering animals, I told you change had already happened in a very big way on the other side, the second dimension right above us. That's no lie. That second book, excuse me, itchy nose. That second book, Creation, Its Journey, Evolving into Paradise. That's 412 pages. Well, that's how the publisher calls it. The actual last page number is 391. Is it 392? Then a couple empty pages. They count all the little physical pages in the book. Anyway, the war on the other side, how the source was, what happened with the source wars and everything. It was basically about what group did what, when, where, and how things basically happened. That could have been 6 volumes that big. But it literally was me doing the fighting. And if you think I'm going to write 6 books about myself, you're wrong. That would, I maybe should have given you more information, but it doesn't matter. What matters is the basic event that happened, the closing of this, the closing of that. A lot of people say, this guy's just nobody. He's just somebody, with a good imagination, somebody who makes stuff up, somebody who wants attention or whatever. Man, say what you want. I don't give a damn. Something for those of you that are just coming in that don't already know me. How the hell have I been going into thousands of brains and evolving them, increasing people's abilities, usually increasing the size of the brain. It grows. The brain and the skull grow. Your hats don't fit, everything, your necklaces, get a new chain. You feel it, you know it, you understand it. Your fortitude grows through the roof. Now how the hell does that happen? How the hell is that possible? It's not? Okay, you want another hint? Go look at the QEEG. That's on the spiritualfoundation.com and Essex.com. Quantitative electroencephalogram electronically measures brain waves. All I did is touch Martin's hypothalamus from here, from my house in Duluth. My degenerative joint disease is so bad I can hardly even get around. I can't even stand up long. So, and I mean long at all. I have to lean on something right away. So, you look at the chart, you'll see the information there. So how did I reach across the Atlantic and touch his head? And then after I did that, my energy was hanging around and literally was messing up the lady's instruments. I was trying so hard to pull it back, it didn't want to come back. It was kind of funny laughing. And I finally got it to calm down, and then her computers and everything just calmed down, and she could get readings again. It's almost a 2-hour video. It's a long one, folks, and it's very uneventful except for a few parts. I can't splice all that stuff together. I don't know how to do that. I just put the videos out and just whatever. It is what it is. That's one reason why my videos are kind of long. But folks, excuse me, but folks, there's a lot of little tidbits of information in there. That's part of my spirit from the planet that's actually talking with me. Now that's cool. That's nice. It's the first time it's ever happened. And that part of me is saying we need to get moving. We need to get the house cleaned up a little bit. I can't tell you how good it feels to have gotten to this point myself. So anyway, I'm helping a lot of you that want to understand now who you really are, what you can do, and I'm cranking up a lot of people. And it's literally building an army of destruction. Only if you understand you're destroying ignorance. You're freeing a person's spirit, mind, actually two per person, that of the planet and that of the spirit that's visiting. That's why I say visiting spirit, because the other spirit from the planet is planetary essence, is supposed to be in a body. That stuff goes in there first. I've told you how souls get put in a body. Spirit, almost always soul. And there's not a darn thing wrong with that. I know so many souls that are so beautiful. Anyway, there's one more meeting tonight. It's going to be next to no one there, 11 people, 10, 11 people. That's serious. That's the war room. Basic format. for the destruction of aggression in the universe, in the third dimension, and the destruction of the hierarchy here on the Earth, as well as other planets, including actually finishing. We just barely started freeing the prisoners here on this planet. I just said we. I shouldn't have said that. It's not incorrect. It's just I didn't mean to go there. I'll be one of the 11. These human bodies on our brains, they're not advanced enough to where we can, even with strong source in it, it's not strong enough to be able to maintain, to go to telepathically go there and stay in a room and talk for hours. To ear, many of the Antids and the Drakh and some other races, they can do that. Our brains are not evolved to that point. But it doesn't matter. I just need to be there consciously for the start of it. My energy finishes out the rest of it. At the meeting last night, I could only talk like 5-7 minutes, and literally gold energy took the yellowish gold with some brown, all kinds of stuff in it, made of basic form. And it was a huge humanoid lion. It's a lion standing up like a man, holding a staff with his right hand. Talked for a couple of minutes and just about what's coming. Folks, y'all are so much more than you understand. Finally, creation has been waiting for this a long, long, long time. By the way, this video, the words, what I'm saying, the reason why I brought up that meeting, 100 years from now, that's going to be normal, understood happenstance. Again, the fact that I told you about this, you're going to find out what I told you is true. Your children will, their children. That's not mind control. That's simple proof available if somebody wants it, that I knew something. And the whole idea for that is for you to use those books when you're ready to understand what you're seeing and to find out where you came from. You don't have to know, but sometimes it's nice to know where you were born. So people think they came from stars. I hope they're thinking star clusters, near a certain star on a different planet. But nobody really knew. So you just had to have the information, that's all. Sometimes sometimes others feel threatened because somebody can do something they can't. I can't help that, but it's a shame, because there's always something other people can do that someone else can't, or something they do better. That doesn't mean they are not better. It does not mean they're better. They're not. But it does mean they can do different things better. Good. It gives us all something, whatever, to apply ourselves towards. Some people are better voyagers, travelers, explorers. Some people are better teaching the young and stuff like that, teaching people who need to know. Some people are great about putting together delicacies, food, chefs, bakers. Some people are good at protecting. It is what it is. Nothing's any better than anything else. Lots of times we admire things that other people do that we can't. I've had lives as a very good artist. I screw up a stick figure when I try to draw one, okay? It's not this life. So I really appreciate an artist. I really appreciate artwork. I see nice paintings. Some of them I painted in a previous life, and say, "Well, that's nice. I wish I could do that now." But I don't like the word "wish," but that's the word we use. It flows around too much. It'd be nice if I could do that now. I don't really wish it. I'm here to do something different, and I want to do what I need to do, and that's what's important. But it helps me appreciate artwork. I feel and see the emotions flowing through the artist. A lot of people do that. I don't have, whatever, sole proprietorship of that, I'm just one of many. I'm no better than nothing, but let me tell you something. I'm really strong. I have fortitude. I know what I'm doing. I just need to be free from the body. And the spirit within me, it'll have its own, once it's relaxed, then the energy that originally came from Gaia, that's in here with me, the other spirit in my dual spirit core, or Kundalini, she's going to have her own little planet. Because that's what they deserve. That's what makes them happy. That's what they should have had all along. Folks, creation is changing in such a way. That's why it's so important to me for all of you to be able to wake up as and when you're ready. And there's no better time than now. Nope. If you had the time to listen to all this, wonderful, awesome, thank you. As you become awake and aware, see if you can't help someone to understand a couple things when they have questions. Nobody wants to be hit over the head with a book, but it's important that we have collections of data to consume so that we can come to our own understanding using our abilities. That's how we grow. We grow separately, and I'm not separately, excuse me. We grow individually, but we grow faster, stronger when we do it as a group, or we go stronger, faster is what I should have said. Didn't want to wake up Herky when I moved this. I want to show you all something. Most of you listening to me, almost all of you, really have strong heart energy. Well, how does that look? Most of it is a darker black color, but that pink is beautiful. This is grade AAA, grade AA. It's grade AAA rhodonite. If you can find some, that's just the pink. As a matter of fact, we have some necklaces that have that. That's very, very, very expensive. You might call that AAA gem quality. The black is strength, it's power. And the pink is beautiful compassion. It's a wonderful stone. Just trying to get together a bunch of stuff that I can. Also, something that's nice with that. Good, Herky, it's okay, buddy. It's not going to fall on you. Something that is really nice with that is Larimar. Here, watch. Rhodonite, Larimar. Very relaxing, very peaceful, calm, strength of heart, having more of an affirmation about yourself and feeling the hope for tomorrow. They're expensive too, though. Oh yeah, I don't have it here right now. I'm cleaning it downstairs. I have a huge piece of blackened stauresonite, but it's not normal blackened stauresonite. When I say huge, it's you know, like this. I get like that, I guess. It's almost all clear quartz with the blackened layers on top of it. It controls the flow of energy, but it's so smooth and so soft. I was driving down the road here in Georgia, and they had taken some rocks and thrown them on the side of the road for erosion control. And I was just driving down the road, and then I was feeling it, and then I got pushed right there, and then I was honed in on it. I said, "Son of a gun!" So I turned around, went over there, parked the truck, got out, picked it up, threw it in my truck, took it home. What's the value of that stone? I don't know. It's $4 more a gram, and it weighs, I don't know, weighs more than 5 pounds. 5 times 454 grams times 4 to $7. But what's its value to me? I can hold on to it, relax, and flow back and forth, but it's more controlled flow. So that'll be staying with the family too. Sometimes when I talk to you and I get hung up on saying Arae's primary focal point or me or something, the reason why I go back, and usually I'll come out and say me because it's basically what I am. However, the truth of what I am is a human body with Arae's primary focal point, me, in there, plus the spirit from this planet. Because I'm source, 90% of me is Arae. The other part is 10% is for the spirit of the planet. She has rights, you know. She wants to hold on to this body. I appreciate that. But she understands now that when it's time for this body to go, that she's gonna be able to relax and have her own little, what she should have, her own little, you know, small planet. Even if they're smaller, they're not as big as like Gaia is. They're much smaller pieces. Although they have grown, they've gotten strong. But that's okay. You can find a huge asteroid that can be turned into a planet. And then there's still plenty of heavy particulate matter that can be opened up and become, you know, a planet. That's where everything came from. All solid mass came from heavy particulate matter. That's where the universe came from. When you look at the vast amount of information, not just in the books, but in my videos that I've given you, and you listen to me talk, you look at me, folks, there's no human mind that's that smart to figure that out. I see it. That's all. I do have rather large data banks of information floating around too. We call it the field. Anyway, folks, look, there's some wonderful stuff coming. It's already started. 100 years from now, the planet will be so changed, and the mass populace will be working towards 40% of everyone becoming awake and aware. It'll be well on its way, instead of the 3.5% we have now. Folks, love you, man. Take care and see you soon.